All right, we've made it to almost the halfway point in the year 2024. So I figured today might be a good idea to take a look back, look at some data, look at some trends, look at some stats. I'm a numbers nerd. These kind of things, I think, point and paint a really good picture. So I want to share with you kind of the stats of what we're looking at in the DFW market on 2024 housing trends, specifically new construction. We're going to look county by county. We're going to also look at some major cities where we're seeing growth, look at pricing, look at sales, look at year over year, a bunch of analytical number stuff, and hopefully it points to some good things for you. Hopefully it answers some questions for you. Hopefully it provides you some value. If we haven't met before, my name is Zach. My team and I, we sell new construction here in DFW. That's what our specialty is. And having data like this is what helps us help clients make informed decisions. So super excited to meet you today. If you have questions, you have comments, you need help buying or building with a builder, contact information down here, reach out, and the team and I would love to help you. So I'm going to share my screen. It's going to be kind of wonky. I've looked at this data a little bit, but I want to kind of see it for the first time with you guys as well, and kind of give you some thoughts and insights as to where I think we're going and what I think we're seeing. So let me share my screen and we'll get into it. Okay, so what we have here, we have 4 of the major counties that make up DFW. So we have Tarrant County, Rockwall County, Dallas County, and Collin County. So Tarrant County is the black line, Rockwall County is the green line, Dallas County is the red line, and then Collin County is the blue line. I have my chart set for just new construction. We're looking at the last year. First and foremost, we're going to do counties specifically first and kind of go through all of this different data, and then we'll pull a couple of different cities and kind of see how that looks as well. So this is sales price. We're going to pull average sales price over the last year. So let's go back to May of 2023. So this is our average sales price on a new construction home in all of these counties. Collin County, $568, Dallas, $593, Rockwall 474, and Tarrant 464. So that was May of a year ago. This was average sales price. Now what I can't calculate for is any build jobs. So this is only data that hits the MLS. Some builders do have products or do have homes that they sell off market more or less that never actually hit the MLS, or that somebody built from ground up that would have hit the MLS. So it's a little bit skewed, but I still think it paints us a really good picture from where we were to where we are. And I think this is helpful for those of you that are like, hey, I'm just going to wait it out. I'm going to wait it out. And hopefully prices are going to drop. Honestly, I don't know if they are. I talked about this recently on a podcast. I don't know if they're going to drop significantly. I do think we are hopefully going to see some interest rate help at some point, but for now, we're looking at least, not dropping significantly. So as I said, this is where we were May a year ago. And then here, let's take a look. So, in that 460 to 590 range, we see this take a massive spike up. Dallas County took the biggest spike, and I would say that's probably an outlier, because you got to think about some of the spaces that Dallas County includes. There may be some high-end construction stuff that happened. You're seeing a lot of knockdown and rebuilds, which would technically count as new construction. I'm not counting that. I'm counting more like production builders. I don't have a way to leave that out. But as you can see, everything else seems like it's trending relatively upwards, with the exception of Collin County. Rockwall's trending down a little bit. Collin County is trending down a little bit. What I don't think this means is that prices are falling. I think we are actually seeing more homes started, more developments being built. I think we're seeing a higher volume, and we're seeing a little bit more of an entry-level price, well, relatively entry-level in some of these spaces. So this is not saying, that prices are falling. I think this is more inventory at a wider variety of a price point, and I think that's important to denote. So that's sales prices. Let's look at homes for sale. Again, we're staying in the 4 counties, and then we'll split it up by city here shortly. So May 2023, 839 in Collin County, Rockwall 241, Dallas 751, and Tarrant was at 1,002. That, I think, proves if we look at just the blue line. So come back and look at Collin County. Collin County with homes for sale went from 839 a year ago to closing out the month of May at 1345. So right in that space alone, we have an additional, 500 homes, additional homes that are for sale, more than there were this time a year ago. I think that's a big reflection on why we saw that average price drop. Not that, things were getting cheaper. It's just more affordable homes were being built in those spaces. So we're seeing it trend up. Everybody seems like they're moving in the right direction, with the exception of Tarrant County is down slightly from where they were, but it seems like, Rockwall moving up, Dallas moving up. So we're seeing, which is good, we're seeing tons of builders continue to start projects. We need them to keep starting projects. With the amount of people that are here in DFW and the amount of people that continue to relocate to DFW, and that number is only growing. The more starts that we can get, the better. I know for a lot of people, you're like, hey, we don't want to see, the growth, the development. Like, we moved out here for a reason. I get it. I trust me, I do. I don't know what the alternative is. Like I said, we're seeing people by the thousands move to DFW. I read an article this past week. I was talking about DFW as a whole is one of the top 5 growing markets for new construction from 2023 into the first parts of 2024. And I think we're seeing that definitely reflected here. So we've got that. We've got, let's take a look at, I think another good indicator to take a look at is months supply. So this is the number that, hey, if everything sold, how long would it take for it to close out? So this time last year, we were averaging 2.7, 4.7, 3.8, 3.7, and this time almost right about the same spot, 3.4, 4.7, 4.4, 3.1. Very similar in month supply, and this is kind of where we want to see it be. Honestly, feels like a relatively healthy market. Makes it really, we're getting to a space where it's very neutral. It's not super buyer heavy. It's not super seller heavy. It's kind of neutraled out. In terms of the building side, like in terms of builders, we're still seeing really great incentives. I think the heavier it gets on a seller's market, the less that you'll see those builders incentives. The more it leans toward a buyer's market, the more of those incentives you'll see. But as of right now, we're still seeing really great incentives, 15, 20, 25. I was in a community the other day and they were saying, hey, it was a higher price point. They were talking about upwards of $40,000 to $50,000 in incentives. Basically, hey, we've got 20 to 25 in financing, and then another 20 to 25, in price reduction or potential movement of where we can put that house. Usually, that's the way it goes. The more you're spending, the more you're probably going to save. The more incentive you probably have. We are still seeing good incentives on lower price points. Had a couple of people close over the last month in like a high 200, like not bad, high 200 to mid 300 price point, and we still pulled 17,000 on one and 22,000 in closing costs on the other, 20,000 on the other, and they still did really well. So there's still avenues as we see, as we see this shift into more of a neutralized market. I think that helps you as a buyer, especially if you're looking at new construction. So month supply, getting into that 3 to 4 month supply, we want that to be good. It means there's competition, but there's not like crazy competition like what we saw back in the first parts of 2020 through 2022. Closed sales, we'll do that one. So it kind of shows you where we were, where we're moving. So May, this time last year, 460, 250, 87, 380, and this year, so 418, 230, 63, roughly about the same. So we're on par with that. This last one I'm going to do on the counties, and then we'll go back and do individual cities and do a couple hot spots here in DFW, is this percent of original price. So what this basically means is if a home was listed for $350 and then it closed, how much percent of the original list price were they getting on these deals? And I think this is a indicator of how much you can negotiate on pricing. So if we see percent of original list price sub 95 to 90%, that means you've got 10% margin to negotiate. If we see it higher than that, then you've got less wiggle room to negotiate, especially on the new side. So let's take a look and see. Let it run. So May of last year, 96, 97, 92, 97. May 2024, there's still clipping at that north of 95% of original list price. So what this tells me, if I'm looking at this, is it says, hey, we're not going to walk in and get $40,000 to $50,000 off of what a builder, like, it's not that crazy of a buyer's market. What we are going to be able to do is get the incentive money. And I think that's an important understanding to have, is, hey, incentive money can sometimes be hidden in the transaction. And I say that and it sounds bad. It's not bad. It basically means, builders have those margins built in. They can give you that money and it all makes sense within their margins, and it still protects the comps within the neighborhood for somebody reselling or for them to continue to sell, versus seeing massive price drops. Now, if a home is sitting for a long time and the builder can't move it and they need to move the product, that might be a different conversation. But we're still seeing in majority of the counties, 95% of list price. So if it's, if we simple math on that, if it's listed, let's take, we'll do it like this. So we'll say, let's take Collin County, and you're getting 96%, we'll round up, okay, we'll call it 97% of list price. And so let's go to sales price, Collin County. Average sales price there is $472. So 472 times 0.95. It means on average you're buying that. If it's listed at 472, you're getting it for 448. So it's showing a $24,000 discount. Again, maybe it all depends on how long it was sitting. It depends on the builder. Depends on the season. Like right now, we're coming up toward the end of a quarter. They might have more room to negotiate. It just means that you cannot be picky. It means that you're probably limited on your selection. So it's something to look at, but definitely look at taking more of the incentive money versus taking the price reduction, because I think that benefits you more in the long term. So let's back it into even smaller markets. Let's hit a couple of hot spots. So let's stay up in Collin County. Do a couple market. I think we can do a couple of these in each. Let's see, maybe do a couple in each county, and kind of see. So one of the first ones that I think people ask me a ton about is Prosper, especially if you're not from here. You're like, oh, we want to get into Prosper. And then we're like, we want to do it for $500,000. And I want to show you that it can't happen. So, okay. The board has been reset. Blue is Prosper, red is Celina, green is Melissa, and the black is Anna. And we're going to kind of walk through the same sort of thing. So you can kind of see when we talk about Prosper, sales price holding strong year over year. Prosper was $893. It is now $969. So that is a significant jump in the Prosper area. Celina was $714. Celina has actually dropped a little bit year over year. Melissa is up and Anna is up slightly. But if we look at that, so this runs all the way back to, this is counting January 2023 to now. So from the beginning of January, Prosper is up 13.2%, which is wild. That's probably one of the biggest stretches, I would guess, in the Metroplex. I wonder, Frisco's not even up 1%. 12.3 year over year. Wow. I wonder, it's not up that way, but I wonder, Rockwall as a city is down 16.2. Okay, we'll come back to that. Prosper's up in new construction sales year over year, 12.3%. If you'd have bought in Prosper in January 2021, average sales price on new construction was $572. May 2024 is $970. It peaked in April of 2022 at over $1 million. Like I said, I could be a nerd about all kinds of this stuff. So back to my 1 year. If you're wanting to be in Prosper, I understand it, but it is going to cost you a lot. Celina again is up almost 1%. Melissa, I love that Melissa is up 3.4. I think we're seeing a lot of really cool spaces up there. Some cool school district projects and fun things like that. So seeing that up is fun. Homes for sale. Let's check those numbers again on the new construction side. May 2023. So this one is interesting. So while Prosper is up in price, look at what Celina is doing in sales. Celina is up. So 143 last year to 238. Celina is up 66% from January 2023 to now. Melissa is down and Anna is up 40%. Prosper's down. So we're seeing prices climb, but Celina is definitely got some more stuff that started. Think of a handful of neighborhoods that are going on in Hillside, Laterra, handful of really this is where all the development's happening, is in the Salina area. And we're seeing that 66% up in new homes for sale. I'm betting they're up in closed sales too, slightly. No, they're down. Prosper's down. So May 2003, this is closed sales in May. So 50, 60, 60, 36. Closed this year, 14, 50. So down in sales, but up in price. I think a lot of this has to do with where we are with rates. Rates are still sitting in the high 6s, low 7s. Hopefully, fingers, toes, everything crossed, we are on the verge of getting some help with that. I'm not an economist. I'm not an expert in that space. We need some help. So fingers, toes, everything, say a prayer. Hopefully we're getting there. Month's supply, we can look at that one for these. We're running at about a 2.8, 2.7 May 2023. And then they're up they've almost got a month. Melissa is down significantly. I think they're needing some new starts there. We're 1.8 to 3.2. Yeah, they're down. And then we'll do the last one, of course, percent of original list price based on what they're seeing. May 2023, 94, 95, 90. So relatively normal to what we were seeing across the whole market. And then May 2024, 97, 92, 97, 96. So prices went up. They're seeing a little bit of discounts on those, especially on the new side. And again, getting incentivized like nothing else. So let's do a couple things out east and see how the market is moving that direction as well. Okay, we have shifted slightly a little bit to the east. So on here, blue is Rockwall, red is Roy City. A little biased. We live out that way. Forney is green, and then Lavon is the one that I think is the market to watch right now. There's a ton of development happening out that direction, so I think it's one that's worth watching. So we'll start, average percent of original list price, or median, back in May, 97, 93, 95, 95, and then we are here. So we're down a little bit in Rockwall, from January 2023, up almost 1% in Roy City, down almost 2 in Forney, and up 1.2 in Lavon. Not surprising there. Home sales, May, 67, 137, 203, 46, and Lavon is climbing 152 over where they were a year ago. Rockwall is down about 20%. There's some new developments that are happening both on the north and the south side that are early phases that I think we're going to see that number go up as soon as they have substantial completion and can start getting things listed on MLS, things like Quail Hollow, things like Nelson Lakes, things all in that space. There's tons right around John King area that's going in. So I think we'll see this number go up. Forney, no surprise, is up with Devonshire opening its new phase. Walden Pond coming in, east, south, and west. Trophy did a couple neighborhoods out here. So seeing Forney up is not surprising. What is surprising is seeing Forney up by 51% from where they started in January. Wow. 51% up in homes for sale. There's a ton of development going on in Forney. One of the challenges out there, of course, is getting through all the infrastructure, and just getting in and out of Forney can sometimes be difficult, as well as getting north and south across Forney can sometimes be difficult, and it's not being helped by 307 inventory homes, up 51% since January 2023. Let's do closed sales. May 2023, 1969, 7833. Rockwall is down a ton. Rockwall's down 84%. Relative. That looks like a lot. They went down from 6 to 3. Not a huge city, so it looks worse than it is. It's not that bad. Royce City is down 24%, so they're 52 closes to 40. So they're up over May, but they're down 8 from the start of January. Lavon is even. Everybody's down except Forney. And Lavon is only slightly down, I'm guessing. 32. So they're down 1 year over year, but down from the start of the year. Forney is up. So 102 May 2024, 78 May 2023, and way up from January 2023, up 30%. And then lastly, for this batch, percent of original list price, kind of give you. Oh, I started here. Yeah, I started here. Okay. Did we do, oh, sales price. Did we do that one? There we go. Sales price, May 2023. So Rockwall 646, no surprise there. It is very, very hard to touch Rockwall under 500. Like Rockwall proper. If you want Rockwall ISD, sometimes you can get it in Fate. Pro tip, half of Fate is Rockwall, half of Fate is Roy City ISDs. So if you're really, really wanting it, pro tip, you can go to Fate, and there's a couple neighborhoods that come to mind. Avondale is a brand new one. They've got some good product, 40, 50, 35, 45, 50 foot lots. Montera would be a good option. Williamsburg might be a good option, but Avondale and Montera would be your best bet to go to Fate and still get Rockwall ISD. If you're wanting Rockwall, Quail Hollow, Nelson Lakes on the north, Sonoma Verde on the south side, they just opened up their new phase. Highlands got some 70-foot lots back there that are awesome that you could get into. So May 2023, 646, 403, 383, and 406. And then May 2024, 541 in Rockwall, 346 in Roy City. So everybody's down with the exception of Levon. They're up slightly in terms of price. And again, I think that's similar to what we saw as a whole in Collin County. They've had a ton more starts go in out there to help with those numbers. All right, let's go. I've had a few people looking in the southern part of the Metroplex recently, so I want to go, let's go south and take a look down there to see kind of what pops up, and then we'll call it a wrap for today. Okay, let's do the south part real quick. Specifically, we've got Mansfield, Midlothian, Waxahachie, Red Oak. That's where I've had a lot of people looking, so I want to look at the data and kind of see. So sales price year over year, again, May 2023, so 576, 410, 505. Wow, Mansfield 627. And May 2024, looking at new construction. So everybody's down a little bit. There we go. Red Oak is up. Okay, you're not too bad. We're seeing a ton of growth again happen down there. Not nearly as quick as what's happening to the north, but it's growing and people are discovering it, which I think is driving some of this train. I bet these numbers are up. Yep. So 150, 27, 122, 227, 38, 145. All of those, look at that from the start of January 2023. Midlothian's up 51%. That's like a Forney number. Red Oak's up 40%. That's huge. This is homes for sale. Waxahachie's up 18, and Mansfield's up 2.5. So the southern part of the Metroplex is growing as well as, I mean, everywhere in DFW is. Number of closed sales, let's see how many people are buying down here. May 2023, 42, 18, 27, 41, 43, 15, 36. Waxahachie again, up strong, 33%. Mansfield's down 31%, but that's, so Mansfield 28, and they're down from, how is that? That's funny. 29 to 20, I guess that's what's calculating. And then lastly, percent of listing, 90. Red Oak is getting 99.1 percent of what they're listed at. So if we're going to Red Oak, we're not negotiating at all in terms of pricing. 99.1. Wow. So I know that was a lot of data. It can get you stuck in the weeds really, really quickly. A couple of quick takeaways, I would say, as we're looking at this. DFW is still growing. DFW is still a hot market. I think this shows us that builders are going to continue to incentivize things, at least for the time being. Like I said, we're still pulling in really good incentives for our clients, trying to help get them closing costs, interest rate buy downs, temporary buy downs, all of those things. I think it's also important that we see that we're not going in on majority of the cases and getting significant price reductions. We are in some cases, but I would treat that potentially as an outlier, not as a norm. I also think it's important, last thing, that you work with somebody that understands kind of this data and can kind of articulate it and talk about it. Like I said, I'm a nerd for these kind of things. It's interesting to see the way it moves. And as we continue to see people move into DFW, I think we'll see these trends continue to grow. It's also a thought of, we're seeing sales up overall year over year, even in a higher interest rate market, even in it feels like things are getting more expensive market. So people are still finding ways to buy, whether if here's the thing. If you don't need to buy, don't. Like, it, maybe it's not the right time for you, but there's plenty of people that it's been the right time for, that are, you know, they're relocating, they're out of a lease, they're moving up, you know, you name it, they're getting into it and they're able to do that. So we want to help with that. As always, of course, if you have questions, you have comments, the contact information is always right down here. Please reach out if my team and I, if we can help you in any way, shape, form possible with real estate here in the DFW market, whether you're building, whether you're buying off builders inventory, doesn't matter. We're here to help. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you found this stuff interesting. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. If you have questions, I'm happy to have that conversation with you. So guys, enjoy your summer. Stay cool. Make sure you get your AC checked, all those fun things. You don't want to be out in the heat. We'll see you for the next video. Bye for now.